You already know what time it is. It's your boy DJ Richie Skye back with some tea, interviews, recaps, and more. And be sure to check the links in the description of this video for trips, for books, one-on-one sessions, and more. Now let's get into the tea. Yo, does somebody need to tell Drew Sidora that it is probably in poor taste to work with your castmate's baby daddy, but not necessarily ring her phone to tell her? Well, that will be the job of Kenya Moore. All right. So, for those of you guys who are Kenya Moore fans, she's back in the building in the upcoming episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. So we're going to talk a little bit of sneak peek, a little bit of spoiler action. So just so you know, there is some spoiler happening in this video. And then we get some interesting tea from Brit Eady. I had already found out this information, but I really wasn't going to really talk about it because I felt like it had not been brought up on the show. But now that it has, I feel like let's discuss. Interesting backstory here. So let's dive on in. So I want to shout out to our friends over at Mr. Housewives for posting this clip of the upcoming episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. So this will be episode 3 that we're into. And again, Kenya Moore is setting things off. So this is a conversation that occurs with Drew, Kenya, Cynthia, as well as Angela Oakley. And in this, they are sitting in the studio, and it seems as though they're going to be doing an exclusive listening session for Drew Sidora's new album, which sounds like it's going to be executive produced, by the one and only Dennis McKinley, Portia's baby father. Okay. So with this happening, I'm going to just play you a little bit of a clip here from the episode. It will really give you an idea of Kenya Moore's position on this.
Part of it. So let me tell you this.
Why can't Dennis speak up for you? I don't get it.
So we'll get into the backstory of how she got to this point in just one second. But I wanted to play you guys this little soundbite because I think it perfectly exemplifies what this clip is all about.
Tell you, Dennis has been so professional. The songs are paid
and
for.
You're being
the
talked
agreement
about like
is.
you're a whore.
What?
Ooh, not a whore.
Come on, Cynthia Cheekbones Bailey.
Hoe, we can ride with. A hoe is almost a compliment. A whore? Oh, that's horrible.
All right, so let's go back.
Much is something to drink.
The headline for the clip. Kenya Moore calls out Drew Sidora over her connection to Portia Williams' ex in a sneak peek of the upcoming episode. What is really going down in this sneak peek? So Kenya, right off the bat, sets the tone for the scene. Drew is trying to ask the girls if they want to pop some bubbly. Kenya is like, girl, did you talk to Dennis after that whole thing where Portia basically cussed you out? She's like, no. Drew's like, I barely talked to him. But the camera shows 2 weeks ago her on the phone with him. And then the camera also pans into a view of her phone where she has labeled Dennis as bro. All right. So she is making it seem like I barely talked to him. He barely picks up his phone, yada, yada, yada. But it's interesting that the camera shows quite a different story. Then Kenya's like, girl, I'm asking you a question about Dennis. Like, what's going on with this situation? You ain't think it was a little crazy that you didn't talk to Portia about this in advance? And again, I could not fault Portia for being upset about that situation because I feel like anybody would probably want that courtesy. I think that people have other issues with Portia, and that is why they feel the way that they do. But I get it. So Drew was like, well, I did try to contact her. I texted her on January 23rd. She responded later. We were supposed to go out to dinner in February. She had to cancel. All of this is happening over text message. And Cynthia says it in her confessional. Cynthia's like, meanwhile, it's crazy that Cynthia Bailey has multiple confessionals as a friend to the show, and Kenya Moore has 0. But again, timing, it could have been a whole situation where they didn't get her confessionals. I really don't know. All I know is that it really diminishes the power that is Kenya Moore for those confessionals, because if she's saying this in the scene, can you imagine what she would have been saying in her confessionals? So Cynthia basically says, like, hey, listen, like, you know, it's all about a respect thing, right? You know, a phone call would have been better. And she goes on to state in the scene, listen, you know, when Kenya worked with Leon on Life Twirls On, I think it was Leon, she said, you know, she gave her a courtesy call first and asked her if it was okay and got her blessing before she went through with it. Then the conversation turns to Angela confronting Shamia about why she asked her about whether or not Portia, Drew, and Dennis were having relations, dating. There's some confusion around whether or not Shamia said the F word. The playback does not show Shamia saying that. She says dating in the playback, but maybe something was cut. I really don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Is Drew in the wrong here? I personally do think that she could have handled the situation better. And I do also find that Drew sometimes has a way of playing the innocent ingenue, like, oh my God, that was wrong. I didn't know. And it's like, come on, like you know something. Like, I just want you to just live in your actions. That's pretty much it. Meanwhile, let's discuss Brit Eady, because Brit has a scene that is also out. And again, this is to a spoiler. This is on the Bravo YouTube channel. And it's the intro scene for next week. And she's, you know, with her family and they're having a family dinner. One of the things that she first talks about is the fact that she used to date Rick Ross. So when I was doing my search for, you know, thumbnail art last week, I think it was, I came across this article in Gossip that really did a deep dive into, well, not really a deep dive, but they just talked about Brit Eady versus Jennifer Williams. But they basically call her at the time, because this was 2020, Rick Ross's ex drags Jennifer Williams for flirting with him, but did she really break the girl code? So apparently she ends up dragging Jennifer because apparently Jennifer thanked Rick Ross for a special delivery of his Bel Air champagne, Bel Air Rosé champagne. So in that post, she was wearing sexy lingerie and a feather duster. And the caption read, Jennifer Williams, it says, Rose all day. Thank you, Rich Forever, for keeping me stocked with champagne. Who wants to drink with me? And then Rick Ross commented and said, send me the original pic. Now, I will show you guys the actual post. This is the actual post that she posted there in the negligee. All right. So after that, apparently Brit went in and she called her all types of names in her Instagram stories. She said this about Jennifer: bees be at your crib for Christmas with your family, then asking your stylist for the same bob hairstyle, then go F on your ex a month later. Hashtag ain't no girl code. Whoa. I swear these TV hoes sure be some low down, another hoe, be some low down, dirty, smile in your face, ask for help, ASSBs, then block you when you call them out. Should have let you stay a nappy-headed ASSB. Thirsty ASS groupie B. I'd at her again, but Jennifer Williams blocked me. I mind my business and stay out the way. Principles are principles. Now, according to Jennifer, according to the Jasmine brand, Jennifer doesn't think she was breaking the girl code because she says that ain't her girl. This is what a source is saying. The source is saying that girl is not a former friend of Jennifer. She's a friend of a friend. Jennifer doesn't even know her like that. She's doing all this for clout and really in her feelings over a comment from Rick Ross. Furthermore, Jennifer has known him for years. So I just thought that was very interesting. Brit versus Jennifer Williams? Who would have thunk it? Over Rick Ross. Now, both of the ladies are married to two different men and living happily ever after. Again, that's why I wasn't really going to talk about it, because I felt like, who cares? That was in 2020. But since it was brought up in the episode, I thought I'd mention it. The other thing that's mentioned in the episode is another mention of Kenya Moore. She brings up the event again, and she kind of, talks about, she's hopeful that Kenya Moore keeps it cute moving forward. So I feel like they're teasing us with the Brit and Kenya showdown. I'm not sure when we're going to get it first. I think this week, the biggest probably showdown that we're going to get is Angela versus Shamia in the shopping scene. So I'm excited to see how this whole thing is rolled out and really where the season is going, because honestly, I feel like it's pretty good so far. Let me know what you guys thought. Did you know about this whole situation with Brit and with Jennifer? I did not know. I just thought it was very interesting and fascinating. And what did you think about the Drew and Portia and Kenya situation? I think that Kenya was in the right. Of course, Kenya has, she has to do it in her own way. But I do feel like she was correct in the way that she approached the situation. Anyway, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. That's the news for today. If you guys have any updates, any questions, comments, leave them in the chatterization down below. Make sure you like this video, smack that like button, flip it, rub it down, all of that. Check the links in the description of this video. We have ebooks, we have Cape Town travel coming up for group travel if you're interested in going to Cape Town, South Africa. We also have one-on-one sessions that are available as well. All the links are in the description down below in this video. And with that being said, I will catch you in the next one.